This episode is brought to you by the Godfather Foundation. It was created to break the cycle. They want to empower parents and families by providing them with the tools and resources they need to be successful in recovery. They offer case management, peer support, educational classes such as budgeting, credit repair, parenting, job referral, application assistance, cooking, and fentanyl awareness. They are very excited to start this new I Am Not Okay meetings in January. They will be holding these meetings every day. It is okay not to be okay, and you are not alone. These meetings are for everyone in the community that would like some extra support in their lives. They encourage participation from other groups. This is not a class meant to replace weekly groups, therapy, or any medical advice. They're here to provide extra support on those bad days. We are here to remind you it's all going to be all right. Welcome back to another episode of Evolve and Prosper, where we are facilitating growth and speaking on what it takes to overcome. And this week, we're back with a recurring guest, the most requested, the most viewed. We
Back
got
by
AJ.
popular demand.
Yeah, we got AJ back with us, and we thought it'd be cool to speak on just like a topic and kind of dive into that and just dissect it and where we went right, where we went wrong, and just kind of our upbringing. And that is going to be the family dynamic of things and how we all come from different environments. We all come from different families, and how that shapes us into who we are, the good, the bad, and also what they had to go through with dealing with our, choices. So yeah, so how do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's cool. Like last time, it was kind of just my story, which we're doing with everyone. But now that I think most people know me and Daniel are cousins, and we've grown up in a lot of this together and been through it all. So the whole family dynamic part of all of it, like we could sit here and talk about it for hours.
Yeah.
We had an amazing family,
Yeah.
good upbringing. It was us that made bad choices on our own, but it's something that I think a lot of people struggle with too, and this is take two on it.
Yeah. We did this yesterday, and for some reason, the microphones weren't cooperating very well. So we're back again.
Yeah, the cool thing is like we're so close that we can just think of a topic though and just talk about it
Yeah.
like forever.
Yeah.
And yesterday went so well, but I wasn't even worried that when we do it again, like because this is what we do every time,
Yeah.
if we're recording or not.
Yeah, definitely. And I was thinking too that we went through our addiction together, a lot of it. And they say like, oh, you got to change your friends, you got to change your family, you got to get away from all that. But I think this is a great example of that's not always the case, because one of us does it and then like the other person, may get inspired. I don't know really how it went down with us, but
Yeah.
we were able to maintain our relationship and closeness throughout all of it. And I think that's pretty cool and that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, there was a time when we were almost afraid to let people know we were like hanging out and talking, because
Yeah.
everyone would be worried, like, oh, like they're just going right back to
on
it.
that shit again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sucked when it was like
Yeah.
that, because we were doing good, we were trying to do good, and we were trying to help each other, and we were so close that we're not going to just leave each other or not be there for each other.
Yeah.
But if the family would hear like, oh, AJ's hanging out with Daniel or something,
Yeah.
and like it would automatically give like red flags, which I totally understand.
Yeah, totally understandable.
But the way we were able to get through it together, and not just us, like Devin as well,
Yeah.
like three of us getting through it all together at the same time was like, we all had totally different paths, but it was roughly the same time period where we got clean.
Yep.
And
like we all had to go through it, go through the getting clean and kind of figuring out a plan aspect on our own. But I feel like having each other to look up to in a way, and almost guidance in a way too, really helped us, because once we all made that decision that we were done with that bullshit, like, and this goes in general, like once you make that decision, it makes the path a little bit more easier and clearer to go down.
Yeah, and then also you don't want to be that one guy that's still messing up while
Yeah.
everyone else is getting better.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, and I was that, my last relapse I went through it all on my own. And um, you were there for me. Devin was there for me. Shay, our cousin, was there for me. But at the same time, like, nobody was afraid to give their opinion on, to snap me out of it.
yeah,
And that's as real as it gets, and that's as true as it gets when it comes to friendship and family and love.
yeah, especially at that point. We'd all been through it. We know what it's like. We knew how to get out of it. So it's kind of just like, all right, Dan, this is we're not going to sugarcoat this.
Yeah,
Get your shit together.
and there's no reason to do that.
Yeah.
That don't help nobody. And we ended up on the path that we ended up on through addiction. But like AJ spoke on at the beginning of this episode, uh, we came up in good households, and when our families always got together for uh, holidays, birthdays, or when our grandparents would come back down from Idaho to Utah to visit on the weekends, like, it was always something special, and it was always, um, I think special.
It was just the best time. I have friends that have been here from out of town that didn't have family here and came for Thanksgiving, and they were blown away at like how much fun our family was having.
So welcoming.
Yeah, just they'll invite anyone in, and just the way they do it, we would all get together, play cards all night at the end of the night, and that was like the fun thing when we were kids.
That was the best part. Like, all the adults would be having a good time, and it was usually me and AJ at the table the most out of all the cousins, playing cards with the adults. But I can remember looking back on that and thinking how cool, like, our family was. I would go to school the next week and just brag about, like, how dope my family was, and, like, just how cohesive we were, And I remember looking up to, like, the adults and the bigger cousins and our parents and stuff, thinking, like, man, I can't wait until I can do that with them, in that way, because we were still playing cards, but obviously, like, we weren't having, like, a good time and all that.
We were still looked at as the children.
Yeah.
But looking up to them and doing it and being a part of it was so much fun. And it's kind of made us like think about it lately, because we're not doing it as much anymore.
Yeah.
And we want our kids to be able to like feel what we felt when we were younger.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it happened when our grandpa died.
Oh, most definitely.
It just kind of really shook the whole family. We were all so close with him, and it was really hard for all of us before then when he had cancer, like getting together still, because I know everyone was like sad and it wasn't the same, but our grandpa, he still would act the same every time. Like, he was going through chemo.
You wouldn't even think that he was going through all that.
Yep. He'd come out and make a joke, and he was still just his regular self. And that's something that kind of, like, I look up to, and like I miss him so much. But as much as he went through, he never changed, never complained. Just was his same self.
Yeah. And looking back on the conversations that we would have with him, like, individually, in those moments, like, for me, I was just like, damn, like, this man has been through a lot. He knows practically everything.
Yeah.
And even to this day, like, that's something that I feel like I've taken from him, is just to be that strong figure in my household.
I think everyone in the family, at least at one point, has like experienced that, like having just a talk with them on their own.
Yeah.
And you take it all like in after, because those conversations with him were just so great. Like, he could just start talking about anything and like explain how anything works, and he's like the smartest guy.
He was Google before Google, like, for real,
I know everyone has said something like, oh, this talk I had with him this time, and that's just how he was.
Yeah.
And it was so cool having him there. And then grandma too, like, because she lived in Idaho for most of our lives. So when she would come with him, it was like the biggest deal ever.
Oh, yeah, it was, man. Like, all our family would get together, and like, friends of our parents would come over because they knew our grandparents. It was so cool, and it was like looking back on it, that was peace as a kid. Like that was a big part of our childhood that helped shape us uh, into who we are today,
Yep.
minus the path that we took. But
And you don't know him as well, but my grandpa on my dad's side, I was like
yep,
super close with.
yep,
And so it's like I had these two grandpas that were like role models for me and
mm-hmm,
just people that I looked up to a ton. And
yeah.
having both of them pass was just like super hard. And
When my mom's dad passed, I remember I was in 5th grade, getting ready to go into 6th grade. So I was like 12, 13 years old. And looking back on it, when that happened, um, I feel like I didn't really know how to cope with it. And that's when like my trouble started.
yeah,
I didn't really know how to cope with it, or express like how I was feeling about it because it all happened like so quick.
yeah.
Um, and like that's when I started getting in trouble at school, and kind of things progressed each year after that.
Yeah, death is it's tough. Like there's no way to prepare for it. We know it's going to happen,
Hmm.
but there's no real way to understand how you're going to feel until it happens. And I think something you did a lot with grandpa's when he was sick, you were there like helping him.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was a kid, I was like maybe junior high. So my grandpa, he was diabetic and had to get his leg cut off or part of it. And I was a young kid there like helping him get around and stuff, and like it didn't bother me whatsoever. I remember just not even thinking of it. I'm just like, this is my grandpa, like I'm helping him. Like it
Hmm.
was like nothing. But when I think back on it now, I'm like, it was pretty crazy that like I
To
was
experience
there.
that,
Yeah, I
yeah.
was there helping him. And not that I didn't want to or anything. It's just that it's like a lot of responsibility on you as a kid because me and my cousins were the ones helping him a lot.
Yeah.
The adults were working and stuff, so we were helping him out. And I'm glad I got to share that experience with him. Just like I'm sure,
Oh, I'm grateful for it.
Pancho appreciated you being there to help
Yeah,
him.
yeah, I'll never forget it, man. 'Cause he declined once we got the news. Like it wasn't good news. And I know anyone else in the family would have like wanted to go do that, but just circumstances at the time, like I volunteered, and like he declined very quickly, but at the same time, like that was such a sacred time for me, um, and to watch death come over someone like that, it wasn't scary. He wasn't scared either. Um, but like I said, it was very sacred, and it was a humbling experience for me, but one that I will always remember and hold on to.
Yeah, it makes you think about when we get older, like we're gonna go through things, and having those people around you that care about you is important. So these relationships we're building with our kids, our future grandkids, like
Hmm.
all of that, like it's going to make a difference. And you don't think about it in the moment, but thinking about it now, like, yeah, definitely. Like I want, my kids, grandkids, whatever, to like look up to their grandpa, and
Yeah,
if he needs help, they want to be there and
and I think that's
not just
so.
some burden.
Yeah, and I think that's so dope because that is instilled like with what we've grown up with our grandparents and our grandfathers specifically. That it's part of the bloodline. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we're part of that bloodline, and uh, we obviously have kids, so like that bloodline will continue. And so I think like that might be something that subconsciously that gets passed down because we're not shitty parents. We're great parents. You know what I mean? And that's just gonna progress,
Yeah.
and our kids see that.
Yeah. Yeah, so this whole thing that kind of got us started on this like family dynamic was that a lot of people, have like struggles or some trauma or something that usually leads to their addiction. And we
We
had just
didn't.
like this great family,
Yeah.
good upbringing, or like we mentioned, it was just the funnest time being with them.
Yeah.
So it kind of made it harder to let them down the way we did. And
Yep.
a lot of the times when we wouldn't get together anymore or later on, it felt like we were just always kind of like letting everyone down, like I said, but just the feeling, like it made things worse. It made it harder,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a struggle. But that's why it's like up to us now to kind of try and get people back together and for
Yeah.
our kids to see it.
Well, and kind of to go back just a little bit, I remember telling Grandma and Pancho, like, this is my way of repaying you guys back for all the bullshit that I put on you, because
Yeah,
I lived with them uh, during like my active addiction, and unfortunately, like, as addicts, sometimes we take advantage of the ones that love us the most, because when we're in that mindset, like, we know we can, like, manipulation is at its highest and at its finest when we're in active addiction. So for me to be able to give back to them, for me to be able to be there for them in the most crappy situation, like that meant a lot. That meant a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. Like I touched on this before, but all the stuff I put my family through and everyone that like never gave up on me, that's kind of when I turned it around and started fighting. That was like my way to show them,
Yep.
like, hey, I'm doing something good now, and to just kind of almost pay them back.
Yeah, it's
Like,
bigger than you.
yeah, you didn't give up on me, and like, look where I'm at.
Yeah.
I remember my first fight, just seeing my dad like come up to the cage and like put his fists up. He's like, "Come on, let's go."
Hell yeah.
And then my mom, like, she was there, and they took a picture of her and like had it in the newspaper, and it was just cool to see everyone just so happy,
Yeah.
like after all the shit I put them through.
And none of
And
that would have been possible had you not turned
yep,
turn things around.
if they had given up on me, I would
Yep.
never be here. So
What? So we kind of I mean, you brought it up. Like, we came from a great family, and we still made the choices that we made. And I feel like it's important to speak on that a little bit, because um, for a lot of people, like, they're brought up in addiction. They've witnessed their parents sell drugs, do drugs. They just came up in that environment, and they were a product of their environment. We weren't a product of our environment. We kind of went off on our own tangent. Like, I know my view on it, but I'd like to think, like, I would like to get yours.
yeah, like, so this is something I kind of went over yesterday, and it was really important because I hadn't really mentioned it before or really spoken about it a ton, but I feel like insecurity was just a
Yep.
big burden for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have like a reason to be insecure. Like, I was playing sports, I was like popular, and even after having everything I needed, I was just so insecure in every situation. And people that know me would never think that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a salesman, I'm outgoing. I can go into a room and like talk to anybody, but at the same time I have that insecurity on the inside. Like, do I fit in here? Like, am I do I belong here?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy that I let that like consume me for a bit when I was younger. I think a lot of young kids deal with it,
Yeah.
but like there wasn't a way for me to really let that out at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking about it and like self-reflection really kind of let me know, like, yeah, like I was struggling even though there was no reason for it. It was just in my head.
And then once you tried something and realized, like, oh, it took that away, it numbs that completely,
100%.
and you're moving with confidence, and
Yep.
you're moving like in a way like you never knew you could move. But the difference is, like, you needed that substance in order to do that.
Yeah, the first time I tried like Oxy, I just remember feeling like great. Like, it's a pain pill, obviously, which are usually downers, but it would give me so much energy, and I would just go out, like, talk to anyone. Like,
Yeah.
if I did it at a party, I'd be having a great time.
Mm.
And yeah, it cleared that insecurity up. But then you have to keep using it, and then you don't want to go without it.
Well, you can't, like, your body depended on it at
Yeah.
that point.
But even before, like, you knew that, like, I'm just like, oh, I want it, like, I need it. I don't want to go to a party without it.
Yeah.
But that very first time feeling withdrawals was like,
Oh shit.
yeah, what am I
What's
doing?
going on here?
I didn't know what was going on, and I just knew I couldn't sit still. I was like sitting here like this, and like I was like sweating, and you know the drill.
Yeah.
But I had never experienced that, and I'm like, is that why this is happening? And
Yep.
you don't know when you're getting yourself into it.
No, you don't. And looking back on it for myself, I think I wanted to grow up fast. Throughout high school, we were partying like every weekend, in a different city, with different sets of people. And that's what was fun. And looking back on it for me, I could see how that progressed because the partying took over sports, the partying took over school, and the partying was the most important thing. And knowing what I know now, I can look back and see, like, well, yeah, that ended up just progressing until heroin came along.
Yeah.
And
It's like a FOMO type thing, like fear of missing out. Like,
exactly, dude. And you're
yep.
not missing out on shit,
Yeah.
Even like through my last relapse, I'd get high by myself and, oh, I need to stay up. Like, I'm going to miss something tonight. Like, and I'm the only one in my room, I was getting high by myself and I would still have like that fear of missing out on something.
Yep.
And even like back then, like you just said, like that was definitely it. Like fear of missing out on a party, fear of missing out uh, on just whatever, kicking it with everyone that we kicked it with when we would get high or whatever. Um, but you bring up insecurities, and I think that's like when mine really kicked in. Uh, I probably already had them for sure, but it amplified it more. And once I was high, like I felt like it helped me perform better,
Hmm.
with the girl. It would help me give me more confidence, go talk to whoever, and just it's so fucked up how it plays tricks on you like that.
Yeah. And like kind of bringing the family part back into it.
Uh,
So I moved from Ogden to Roy, and we didn't have a ton of money. We had like this small house, but it was fine. Like parents took care of me. They got me like all the nicest shit, and they couldn't afford a ton, but they got me everything I needed.
yep,
But going to Roy, my best friends and people I played sports with, they had these big houses. Like their parents were loaded, and
all bougie.
yeah. And I remember just feeling like insecure about them, like picking me up or like dropping me off there. And looking back at it, I'm like, it's stupid, but you can't help it as a kid.
Yeah,
Like,
you're figuring it out and you don't know,
yeah,
you know.
I had everything I needed. I wouldn't change how I was brought up at all. But in that moment, it's so hard to get over it. And I just remember that being like something that really like I thought about all the time. Like when I was like riding the bus and like getting off and or getting to school, and my friends are like getting dropped off in these big trucks and like
Yeah,
all this nice stuff.
and I
And
think that's common. It's a common thing for even kids these days, yeah, I feel like that's common, but it takes us like growing up now, looking back on it and realizing like, man, our parents did everything they could. I
yep.
used to like beef with my stepdad all the time, and he raised me for a good portion of my young life, up until I was into drugs heavy. And looking back on it now, dude, like I have so much love and respect for him. Like things didn't work out with him and my mom, which that happens. Um, but I like as a dad now and as a provider now, I can look back and be like, man, like that man did a lot for me and it was there for me a lot. And no matter what or how things played out, like he'll always hold a special place in my heart.
Yeah, he was a good guy, and every time I'd see him, he'd get the biggest smile, and like he would say like he would say something, but I can't remember what it is now, but he would always say it to like me, and I'd be like, "Oh, what's up, man?"
Yeah,
And yeah, having those, that's a whole different topic on its own. Like
yeah,
like step parents
yep,
and like raising other people's kids or
yeah,
being there. Like it's just this whole dynamic that you're not really like being a parent on your own is hard enough. Like there's no guide for it. There's
no,
no set way to do it. And then, when other kids are involved and
combined
you're
in families.
yeah, you're trying to be there or you're trying not to do too much or
Hmm.
it's just this whole thing that it's tough. So him being there and
Yeah. Well, not only just him, but like my stepmom too.
oh yeah.
She like when her and my dad got together, like, she didn't have no kids,
Mhm.
but she took me and my brother uh, before my other brothers were born. Like she jumped right in, bro, and just like was that extra parent. And
To this day.
Yeah, and still to this day, and
Yeah.
never treated us differently, and always was there. You
Yeah,
know.
shout out to Trina.
Yeah. Shout out Trina. Shout out Derek, and shout out our, my mom and my dad too, because things didn't work out with them either, and I don't blame them for the things that I experienced as a kid, because they were doing their best, and like, like you said, there's no manual to this shit.
Yeah.
Um, so I I don't know. I just think it's cool that we can sit back and reflect and look at things for how they were, and really know, like, all of our family and all of our parents did their best at the time with what they knew,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
with how they knew how to do it.
And it's something that doesn't really get spoken about when, like, back when we were kids, like, you wouldn't really talk to your parents about, like, feeling insecure or something, or that's something that they might not bring up. Like, hey,
Yeah.
just know that, if you feel like this or anything, like, you're fine, because they might not have even seen it.
Yeah.
And I know, like I said, a lot of people would never think, like, I was like that or insecure on the inside when they see me on the outside.
Yeah.
So it's a good way for us to, like, have those conversations with our kids now and just let them know it's okay. Because even as an adult, like, I struggle.
Yeah.
I talked to you about this, but being the fighter guy, like,
Uh-huh.
I put so much into it to turn my life around, and it was a big part of my life. And everyone that knows me would come up or be like, "Hey, when's your next fight?" And, "Oh, what's you training?" And so once I finally, like, stopped and I was hearing that, it was hard to, like, take in. I'm like, "Oh, well, who am I now if I'm not that fighter guy?"
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that, like, how much it was, like, bothering me, and just until, like, recently.
Yep.
And so it's one of those things that, the insecurities will always be there, but understanding them and knowing when it's coming
Yeah.
and
Well, and
not letting
knowing,
it consume you.
yeah, and knowing yourself,
Yeah.
because it's always there, dude. But like you said, but I feel like the difference is now we don't run to find something to cope with it. We address it head on,
Yeah.
and we don't dwell in it. I mean, some days are harder than others, and I just feel like that's everyone goes through that. Uh, but being able to recognize that, dude, is such a powerful thing for anybody to do, and to know that we are not our thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. And another thing that, like, tied into this was that we kind of, well, we were going over, but is all the regret. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I look back and I'm like, wow, if I would have trained, more or took it more serious, I could have been, like, here. Like, at one point, I was ranked number one in Utah as an amateur in
Fuck
my
yeah.
weight class, but I also, I would take a fight, and then after that fight, because it's so much work and time, I would take a bunch of time off, and my coaches would get mad at me for it. But part of it was, at the time, I was a single dad.
Yeah.
Like, I had my son, and no one I trained with that I know of was in that situation,
Yep.
because I'd have to go to work and pick my son up from school and then go train, or he'd get picked up. So I'd be gone all day during a fight camp. And so it's like all that time my parents are watching him.
You were a
And
new dad too, like,
yeah,
kind of just
I didn't know what I was doing.
throwing on top of you.
Yeah,
Yeah, but at the same time, I get what you're saying, 100%. But you still did that,
yeah,
you still did that, and that takes a man coming up out of addiction like that. All of a sudden, one day you're not a father, the next day you are a father, um, and to handle it and move how you did, bro. So I give you your flowers on that.
like, just finding out you're a father and then having custody of your son right after.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
it was a big life change.
But it's what you needed at the time.
Oh, for sure. So that regret, like I was saying, that's something I look back on. Even school.
This fucking day.
So, like, even school, we were talking about, like, I wish I could go back to school and do everything that everyone told me to. Like, hey, just focus on your grades. Like, don't worry about partying. It's not going to matter. Your friends, like, don't worry about it. Like,
Yeah.
I would go back and be a nerd and
most
get
definitely.
straight A's. And
Yeah.
go to college.
And experience a different, they say that's what you're supposed to do, but I agree with you, because just getting that experience, and I feel like those
those times at that age are where we get to know ourselves more,
Yep.
you know, and figure out who we are instead of numbing everything out that
Yeah.
matters.
And when you're young, nothing anyone says to you will click.
No.
And like I've been told all this stuff when I was younger. Hey, do this and do this, and it's coming from like it's great advice.
Yeah.
But when you're young, you're just like, nah, I'm good. Like,
Yeah. Like,
I can get this job. I'll make some money, whatever. And
just defiant.
yeah,
Just being defiant, thinking that we knew better,
yep,
that
Uh,
we got it under control, like we'll
yeah.
figure it out type shit.
There's so much I could have done, and so it's hard to not regret it and look back on it, but you can't like dwell on it forever either.
No, because that's when like self-destruction comes, you
Yep.
know, and that self-destruction is in any form. It's not just using drugs. Like it's, you know, there's no look to it.
Yeah.
It can happen, you know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it could look like anything
Mhm.
where you're just down spiraling as an individual,
Yep.
you know.
Being like 18 and seeing your friends like buy houses and have
Yeah,
nice
and
cars and
good jobs.
you're sitting here like, oh, okay, what am I doing with my life?
Yep.
And so you start, when addiction comes along, you start seeing that more and more, and then you're like, oh, well, I'm never getting out of this. Like, I'm never going to be able to buy my own house.
Never gonna
or
get better.
buy a new car.
Yeah.
So it's like, why should I get clean? Because
Yep.
you're so used to destroying yourself. Like I destroyed my credit. I destroyed, everything around me.
Relationships.
Yep, relationships. And you just start to think, well, there's no way I'm going to get out of this. So
Yeah.
there's no point in stopping.
I think like when we're under the influence like that too, we're so used to, I know when I pick up and I know when I stick this needle in my arm, I know what I'm getting right away.
Yeah.
You know, so coming out of that, getting through the detox, through the withdrawals, it's almost like we want a better life right away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they say it's a progressive disease, which 100% it is. Like the more you use, the more it's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Progressively worse. This time around, coming out my last relapse, I've taken that mindset, but also flipped it. If that's true, using or self-sabotaging or self-destructing, then it has to be true when I'm getting my life together and doing the right things. The difference is though, it doesn't happen as quickly.
Yeah.
You know, and there's days where you're just like, oh man, like I feel like I'm not progressing at all. But then just like before you know it, you buy your first house, you have your nice car, your credit is back up to where it once was, if not better, and you're providing for your family. And it takes little moments to step back and appreciate that.
Yeah, that is something I never thought would happen still. Like,
Yeah.
even when I got clean, I'm like, well, like when you think about credit, everyone knows, like, if you mess it up, it's like, it's going to take a lifetime to fix.
Yep.
Like, it takes forever to get it good, but it takes 2 seconds to ruin it.
Yep.
And so even then, that was the hard part when I was clean. I'm like, okay, I'm clean, but like, what do I have? Like, I don't have anything. I'm living with my parents. I don't have a car. And it's so easy to be down on yourself. And I'm lucky that I didn't, let that consume me then and go back down that path, because it's a lot. Like, being sober sometimes just isn't enough.
Yep.
Like, you want all of it. Like, once you're sober, you're like, okay, I want this. But you look at the path to it, and it's a long road, and it's almost like too overwhelming.
Yeah, it can be. It can be really overwhelming, but I just feel like in those moments, like it's important to. We talked about this before. It's important to kind of make yourself take a step back and look at the things that have gone right. Look at the things that we do have, and be grateful for those.
Yeah, and it makes it way more satisfying when you actually do get there.
Yep.
Like, that was the coolest feeling ever when we got our first house. And
I'm sure, dude.
It was just like,
it's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, it's like you feel like an adult.
Yeah.
But it took until I was in my 30s, like, to get there. But it's just looking back on everything I've been through, and you know, we had another flood, and it sucks. Like we talked about it the first time, but that very first flood, it wasn't covered by insurance. Well, we didn't know it right when it happened, but then we found out and got this huge bill,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like a setback. And then I got laid off, and then it's just like it's like a snowball effect. Everything was going wrong. And had I been younger and not where I am today, it would have been a relapse for sure.
Yeah, it would have been an excuse to go back.
Yeah, it
But
was so hard. But then so we had another flood this last week, and having been through it and knowing that, okay, we got through it, we're still here, you know, it sucks, it did set us back, but we were able to, you know, get everything we need. We had a ton of support from our family.
yep.
And so now with this one, it sucked, and we were like frantically running around trying to get it taken care of and almost defeated, but we know we've been through it, and the family's there, and it's like having gone through something once prepares you for it to go through,
Yeah.
or for prepares you for it the next time.
Yep.
And with addiction, like having gone through it and knowing how you're feeling and knowing what like triggers you, and then getting over it, now you're like ready for that next chapter.
Yeah, and you feel so. It makes you feel good about yourself because you're able to operate through any situation without resorting back to something that will take everything away.
Yeah.
You know, like the flood, that situation that you're going through, uh, using isn't an option. But if it were, like you said, in your past, um, there would be no house to even
Yeah.
fix because the drugs would just take over and the bills would pile up and never get paid. Um, so yeah, it sucks going through that, uh, but being able to get through that, um, like a man and like an actual an adult that doesn't run back to using, that's powerful shit.
Yeah, so sharing these experiences, you know, with someone that maybe they're barely starting to get clean, or maybe they're still in it and thinking, I'll never get there. Like,
Mhm.
that's why I love talking about this with you, and like your story and Devin's story, Malcolm's, because
Yeah,
we've all felt like hopeless and we're not going to get out of it. We're not going to move up in life. And like, we all have. So if this helps, like, even one person
yeah, dude.
kind of overcome that
Yep.
and get through it, then you know, we may have like saved a life or changed a life.
100%. You know, it's just I'm big. I feel like I had a hard time getting clean in the past because you have to do it this way. You have to take these certain steps. Like you have to. And if you divert just a little bit, uh, that takes everything away. You got to restart.
Yeah.
You know, that was hard for me. That was hard for me. And so that's kind of like,
Especially when you're in a program like AA or
yeah.
something,
And
and not anything bad about
no,
it, like, because it does help people.
but it's not a one size fits all type of deal.
Yeah,
You know,
everyone's different, and like I wouldn't say anything bad about it at all, because
no.
that it actually helped me my first time like get clean for
Yeah.
a bit. Like I ended up relapsing, but it like had nothing to do with that. It was me just not taking what I learned.
Yep.
But now, you know, like I'll drink, you know, I'll do things, and like it doesn't mean I'm going to go back to opiates, to where if I was still in
Mindset.
that mindset of like working like that and I had a drink, I would feel like, oh no, like I I did something wrong, and it would almost like kind of set me back,
Yep.
like, or set me towards that path. Well, I'm already drinking,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
so yeah, everyone has their own way. Definitely not saying AA is bad
No,
or
not
anything
at
like
all.
that, because it does help.
Not
But
at all. But
just
like,
look at all,
yeah.
you know, the big picture. Like if it's not working, try something different.
And the great thing about it is it's your recovery. It's your life. It's it's a great way to start to create a life that you want and the things that you want in life. And you can tailor, you can tailor it as long as like you tell yourself, I'm not using today. I'm not going to smoke that pipe today. I'm not going to stick that needle in my arm today. I'm not going to be self-destructive. Uh, the recovery process is yours and it's sacred and it's how you want it to look like. And that's a big part of this podcast and getting different perspectives from people. So hopefully someone watching can pull from different people or might relate to you or relate to me or relate to Devin or relate, to like Marissa or to Kyle, all these people that have come on the show before. and pull certain things from them and apply it to your own wants, your own needs, and your own recovery is, I just feel like it's huge, man, because we all have it in us.
Yeah.
We all are the same when it comes to using the substances or using the drugs, but we all have different reasons why we started,
Mm-hmm.
which drove us to that. But the drugs is the one thing that we had in common. But coming out of that, we can all learn from each other, and we can all, uh, just apply it in different ways.
Yeah, we all had different reasons to start, but
Hmm.
we all had different ways and reasons to want to get out.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's crazy, how everything works. And
Yep.
hearing these stories, like it like inspires me. Like I want to be a better person just hearing what some other people went through, and I've been through it myself.
Yeah.
So
100%.
it's
I wanted to touch on too. Um, so we went through our addiction somewhat together. And I've had people, kind of ask me like, who started you on it? Like, who got you going? And I know what they're alluding to or referring to, in a roundabout way. And I just want to say this and give you your flowers and your respect. And just, it made me look up to you that much more, because I remember when you found out that uh, me and Devin were doing heroin, and you were like full force in your addiction at that point. And even with you in that mindset, you still had enough clarity and enough love for us to set us down and be like you were pissed. And you straight up told us, like, you don't know what you guys are getting yourself into. This ain't a party drug. This ain't nothing to fuck around with. And for the longest time, like, you were pretty upset with us, and we never like started using right away together. Obviously, like, it progressed to that because misery does love company, and but you never looked at it like, oh, now I got like, oh, excuse me, I know I don't have like my little crew with to help me plot and plan on how to get shit. Like, you were genuinely pissed off even in that active addiction mindset. So it's something that's always stuck with me. And I've always wanted to tell you this, and I felt like right now would be the perfect time.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much because I remember when you guys, like, everyone knew I was doing it,
Yeah.
but you guys would ask me sometimes, like, force someone to try it, and I'd be like, no, like,
Yeah, every
guys-
time, every single time, dude.
yeah, I don't want you guys doing this. Like, I'm not giving it to you.
Yeah.
And when I did find out that you guys had got some from one of my friends, I was so pissed.
Yep.
I was pissed at you guys. I was pissed at him. Like, it's not a path I wanted for any of you guys. And how you mentioned, like, misery loves company. Most people, yeah, they want more people with them
Yeah.
because then there's more ways to get drugs. There's more, okay, this person has some money, like, well, they might
We'll
have
all
more
go-
hookups.
yeah.
Yeah, it makes it easier. But when it came to you two and just growing up with you, I'm like, no, like, I do not want this for you.
Yep.
And I was so mad, but after a while, like, couldn't really, we're all adults.
Can't stop it at that
yeah.
point,
So
And
when it got to
yeah.
a certain point, it's like, all right, well, you guys are here. Like, now you know what it feels like. But all right, let's go. Let's go
Yeah.
get some.
And even like when we were like getting shit together, like, I could tell like it wasn't something you were all the way cool with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, we're here now, like, we're all like, it is what it is at this point.
Yeah. It's not just the drugs too. It's like there's so much risks involved, like going and picking up and like getting caught by cops, or maybe someone tries robbing you, and it's just it's not a great life, which is obvious, but you don't think about that when you're getting into it.
No.
And I knew what I was into, so I knew for sure that it's not something that you guys don't need to be there yet. You're not there. Just stay away. Like,
Yep.
it's not all fun and glory. And
Yeah, and see, like I said earlier in this episode, for me, excuse me, for me, knowing like you were doing that for a long time, like, that's not why I wanted to do it at all. I think why I ended up doing it was because it's a progressive disease, from the partying every weekend, to not having a plan in high school, to not graduating to not having a plan there, like it was just a matter of time before I started,
Yeah, you were already looking for things to numb like your
yeah,
pain,
to
like
numb,
drinking,
yep,
partying,
where I
whatever
was
it
at,
was.
100%.
And then so, that only goes so far, so you start looking for something else.
Yeah.
And
Well, and then like back in like 2008, 2009, it transitioned. Like I never messed with oxys, but I remember like 2008, 2009, heroin was just like everywhere. Like how fentanyl is now.
yeah,
Back then, heroin was just like, and it took over like all our extended friend groups.
yeah.
From Ogden to Roy, from North Ogden to Plain City, like
Yeah.
to Salt Lake to Clearfield, like
Every
everyone we
group
knew.
had like someone
Yeah,
that
every group had somebody that ended up falling into it, and it just like it took over the state.
I don't think it's mentioned enough, but I feel like oxys just played such a
Oh,
big part in the opiate
100%.
like epidemic, because you watch those documentaries and they were just pumping them out to
Yeah.
everyone, and so they were very easy to get. So you try one, like, and it's the best feeling ever.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to keep doing it, but without that, I don't think I would have been like, oh, I want to try heroin.
Yeah.
If like oxys weren't around first and
Yeah.
I didn't go down that path,
I agree with that.
you don't usually just jump to something like that.
Yeah.
But
Well, we did, but but at that point, it was like,
Yeah.
it's just what it was.
it was just they were everywhere.
It was
Every
cheaper.
school. Yeah. So
The heroin was.
they started kind of cracking down a little bit on oxys, and then they were getting so expensive, like
Mhm.
$80 for one pill that might get you high like once.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, obviously like heroin's gonna be, it's even stronger. It's
Cheaper.
way cheaper.
Yeah.
And so there was like, it was just set up to take over.
Yeah. It's just crazy looking back on it. We'll go ahead and get wrapping up, and you can touch on something on this after too. I just wanted to say thank you to all of our family. That's every single one of you that never gave up on us, even though we put you through so much. I think we understand now, like you healed as we healed, and yeah. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah. Always being there, never giving up. We've talked about it like ourselves, that moment where it was me, you, and Devin, and my dad just came in and was like, hey, I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah, that was a huge moment.
And
Huge moment.
yeah, like we all remember like exactly like where we were and like how it went, because
Yep.
it meant so much to all three of us.
Yeah.
But
because prior to that too, I don't mean to cut you off, but real quick, before all the drugs started, like we were hanging out on the weekends, and we would hang out at your house.
yeah,
So your dad like kind of was close, not kind of, but your dad became close to us.
yeah,
And so for it to come full circle back, and standing in the kitchen at your dad's house, in your mom's house, dude, and for him to say that, like that was real cool.
got us a shot, and
Yeah.
it's like, all right, guys, I'm
Yep.
proud of you.
Yep.
Let's have a shot.
Yeah, dude, and that was awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, appreciate all the family. We need to come together like we were, get the kids involved, have them experience what we felt,
Yeah.
and
Just get everybody back on the same page.
yeah, keep
Life's
it close.
too short.
And for those of you out there watching, like same with you, like if you have a good family, or even if you don't, like get around people that you're close with, and
Yeah.
reach out for help or ask.
Or go create that family. Go create that bond. Go create that closeness. And learn to trust people who love you, and love who loves you. And there's many ways to do it. So yeah, man.
Whether it's addiction or just life, like
Yeah,
there's no
exactly.
reason to go through it by yourself,
No.
and people will help you out and be here.
No one should ever have to suffer in silence, and no one should have to suffer at all, man. I feel like we get in these mindsets where like we almost feel like we deserve that, but we don't. We deserve to be happy. We deserve to be at peace, and we deserve to live a life full of that. And so if you have it, grab it, cherish it, don't let it go. And if that's something that you don't have, go find that. Go search for that. Go create that, And once you obtain that, don't let that go.
Yep. Maybe it'll find you, and just
Exactly.
have an open mindset, and let it happen.
Yep, 100%. So, you got anything else?
Oh, that's it. I appreciate being on again.
Thank you for coming.
I love talking with you and
Yeah.
having these talks. Like we already said that we could not even have a topic and just go on forever
Yeah.
because that's what we do when we're by ourselves. So I love being able to help and be on the show. And yeah,
Yeah.
thanks again.
Thank you. And thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to go like and subscribe, share the episode. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And also, we got some merch up on evolveandprosperapparel.com
Buy all the merch.
with some new designs in process right now. So we'll get those up and going. And until next week, thank you.